Give a charge.
So part 4 of Mr. Mark
So when are you gonna
Buchanan.
let us
There
go
he
so we
is.
can go get this bird? Huh? I got a dead bird. What are you investigating? It's illegal. I'm out here hunting.
We're just here to check on the complaint.
Okay, well, why don't you go over there and talk to the lady that called and screamed at me and harassed me?
Oh, did somebody scream at you?
Yes, she sure did.
That's the first I heard about that.
Well, we did.
First I heard about that. That's because when he pulled up, I was backing my boat in. I didn't even see him until I was in a complete U-turn and actually backing up. And then he didn't turn on his lights until my truck was almost to the top of the ramp. So I just wonder about this guy, how his procedures are.
Didn't talk much because I've got a dead bird I want to go get.
But he won't let me go get it. He blocks me in. All I wanted to do is park my truck and then casually talk to this guy and say, okay. But he decided to just attack me, so I got out my cell phone as a defense. Because I seen what was coming. I seen what was coming, guys. And this is a part 4, kind of a follow-up, what's going on. I just want to address YouTube and this whole process. I don't know much about YouTube. I'm just kind of learning about it. But, you know, when people post on YouTube, people make money and and likes and all this thing, and they get high on likes. Mr. Buchanan stated that I get high on likes, I guess. Or I'm doing this for likes. Well, Mr. Buchanan, the YouTube world, and everybody else out there that wants to watch this debacle go down, I didn't go duck hunting that morning to get likes. I went to shoot ducks with my son. That I had to fight your county for 14 years against my ex-wife just to get visitation, which you kept me from my children through your Department of Social Services, 18 times. I was investigated for child abuse and neglect 18 times, Mr. Buchanan. And not one time was I ever found guilty of that, because my wife lied through the whole thing. You finally got 2 felony kidnap warrants for my ex-wife and separated our family. Your department, and DSS separated, the whole court system separated my family. I lost my kids for years. My kid went out there and fell in a swimming pool and had a seizure and went into a coma for 6 months, and my ex-wife didn't even tell me. Because it was so hush-hush. Because if the DSS had found out about it then, they would have removed the kids from custody for allowing my son to fall into a swimming pool, knowing he was an epileptic. But that's a long, long story, and your courts have taken up enough of my time in life. I'm now regaining my time in life with my son. And now you want to burn his brain with this permanent bad memory of 6 cops surrounding us in the morning when we're supposed to be having fun, collecting food for our family. So, no, I didn't wake up with the intent of making a YouTube video. Matter of fact, never really thought a whole bunch about it. But now, since I'm making a part 4, and I'm making YouTube videos now about this to cover my butt, because Mr. Buchanan, what you've done wrong is going to cost me legal fees. And somehow, I need to get some money to fight the incorrupt procedure of illegally detaining a legal hunter in a legal act on legal grounds with legal guns, legal ammo, legal weapons, legal boats. Everything we did was legal until you got butthurt and did get my ID. So no, I didn't wake up wanting likes. I woke up with the intention of going duck hunting. So now that I'm making YouTube videos, anybody that sees it, please tell me how I can set up a GoFundMe or send me donation. I don't know how all that works. I need some advice, public. So I guess I'm looking for your direction to help me out with that. What about that guy that made that video and cut my video up and did a really good job? Why don't you contact me, man? And maybe you can post my stuff for me. Because, man, it just ain't right what's going on in Clay County. Not at all. Because they being some pretty crooked people right now. And I'm just sitting here uploading my defense. So, part 4. There's the letter I wrote to Mr. Buchanan. He did not even answer me. Kind of crazy. I don't know why a man wouldn't. But, you know, he's wrote all kinds of things about me and my son. All over the internet. Bad news. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I've never seen a sheriff respond to something like this before, you know. I mean, my lifestyle's hunting, guys. I like to hunt. I love to hunt. I harvest all my food. I'm a bird raiser. I raise pheasants and quail and dove. I love the outdoors. I've been doing it all my life. I respect the outdoors. You know, when Mr. The game warden came by, because a lot of you are trying to figure out, well, what happened in the comments? Well, the warden showed up a few minutes later. I walked straight to the warden and talked to him. I already met the man. Know him. So we had a conversation. He explained to me that the North Carolina did have authorization to check my ID. Okay, I wasn't informed. Didn't know that. Just didn't seem right the way he approached me, and I just didn't seem, I don't know. Maybe I made an error in that judgment. Or maybe Mark Buchanan stepped over the line of right and wrong. Because morally, in my book, you did, for sure. But as I look through all this stuff and have to sit here and ponder and try and explain this to my son in a manner that he's going to understand, and I don't want to demean the police force because I'm for law enforcement. I believe there is a purpose in them, but when they go of bounds the way they are now, not so much. You know, if you talk to Melvin Cantrell, he knows more about Paul Hudson than probably anybody. He's a pretty fine man. You know, and it took a lot of years to get your department to figure out what was going on with my kids. And you know, right now, my son has finally come back into my life. He's going hunting with me, wants to be with me finally, and he's revoking all the things that his mom has said about him. And his mom to this day is still saying bad stuff. So, it even looks bad in her eyes through to him. I'm just wondering what YouTube thinks, guys. Mr. Buchanan, did he do right? Did he do wrong? But the game warden, guess what he said? Mr. Hudson, you've done nothing wrong. I find no citations. You're shooting still shot. You had a choke stopper in your gun where you could only load 3 shells. Registration on your vehicle, insurance, all was good. Seems like you were abiding by the law, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day. So no citations. So now let me tell you the final greatest part of part 4. And you know, sometimes you get things on YouTube and there's other moments that you miss when the camera's not on. Let me tell you about one of them. Since the game warden was cordial and I had already stopped the previous video recording, I didn't turn my camera back on. After the game warden left. As soon as the game warden walked away from me, there are 4 witnesses to this. My son, me, the officer that wrote the ticket, and Mark Buchanan. We were all 4 there when Mark Buchanan is not the writing officer. The other guy is. You know, the guy that held his shirt like this and just kind of marched around and told me, well, sir, you've done nothing wrong. You know that guy that I'm talking about in that other video? Well, that guy supposedly is the one that wrote me the ticket, not Mark. And then, as me and my son are about to leave and go get our bird, it's still floating in the lake an hour later, luckily, yes, we found it. We're going to get them mounted. They're beautiful. Drake and a hen, bufflehead, diver ducks. Beautiful, beautiful, pretty birds. So we're going to get them mounted. But we did find them. So that is the result of the birds. They did not go to a waste because of Mark Buchanan, luckily. So we are going to eat them and then put them on our wall. That is a beautiful thing like the rest of things on my wall. Pheasants and everything else. That's what we're going to do with that. But the closing moment is after that officer didn't like the way I refused my ID, he bitch ticketed me with failure to provide ID. I didn't provide it, okay? But he literally, with force, threw that ticket through my truck window. It bounced off my chest and it landed in my son's lap. He threw it at me. And I don't mean he just handed, here, sir, here's your ticket. He threw it at me with force. Threw it at me in spite. He gave me a spite ticket because I didn't fail to show him or tell him who I was. Inside of 30 seconds of the complaint, Mr. Mark Buchanan knew who Paul Hudson was. Part 4.